You think you understand your cat. You feed them every day. You live in the same space. You see them constantly. And because of that, it feels obvious. Of course you understand them. But what if that feeling is misleading? What if your cat understands you far better than you understand them? Because your cat is always watching you. Not emotionally, not the way humans do, but in a quiet, consistent, almost analytical way. They observe how you move, how you speak, how you react to small things. They notice patterns you don't even realize exist. And over time, they build a clear picture of who you are. Not based on what you feel, but based on what you do. And that picture controls how they respond to you. Every single day, most people believe cats are unpredictable. That one moment they're affectionate, and the next they act distant for no reason. But that idea comes from misunderstanding. Cats are not random. They are incredibly consistent. The real inconsistency comes from humans. We change our tone without noticing. We switch from calm to loud, from patient to impatient, from present to distracted. And to another human, that still makes sense. But to a cat, it doesn't. Because cats don't read intentions. They don't think, maybe you're tired today. They don't try to interpret context. They observe patterns, clear, repeated patterns. And when those patterns are stable, they relax. When they're not, they create distance, not because they don't like you, but because they don't fully understand you. Think about the moment you leave your house. You grab your keys. Maybe you check your phone. Maybe you're in a hurry. Some days you move calmly. Other days, everything feels rushed. Your steps get faster. Your movements become sharper. Your energy changes. To you, it's just a normal part of your day. But to your cat, it's a pattern forming. They notice your routine. They recognize the signals that you're about to leave. The sound of keys, the way you walk, the shift in your focus. And here's what matters most. They don't just notice it once. They notice it every day. If leaving always feels rushed, unpredictable, slightly chaotic, your cat starts associating your presence with that same energy, even when you're not leaving. Because for them, it's all part of the same pattern. And over time, that changes how safe your presence feels. Now think about when you come back home. You open the door. Maybe you speak louder than usual. Maybe you move quickly through the room. Maybe you bring energy with you. And somewhere in your mind, you expect your cat to react, to come closer, to greet you. But instead, they stay where they are, or they look at you from a distance, or they take a few seconds before moving. And that moment feels confusing. But from your cat's perspective, something just changed. The environment shifted. Sound increased. Movement increased. Energy changed instantly. And animals don't immediately trust sudden change. They observe it first, so your cat watches you. They follow your movement with their eyes. They measure your energy. They wait, and only after that, they decide how close they want to be. You call your cat. At first softly, then again, then louder, maybe a little more impatient. And when they don't respond, it feels like they're ignoring you. But they're not ignoring you. They're deciding. Cats don't respond to commands. They respond to comfort, to curiosity, to safety. If coming to you feels calm and predictable, they will come. But if it feels like pressure, they won't. And every time you repeat their name with more intensity, you're not becoming more inviting. You're becoming more demanding. And that changes everything. Because now, your presence doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like something being pushed onto them. And cats move away from pressure, not toward it. Now think about the moment you reach out to pet your cat. At first, everything feels perfect. They relax, they lean into your hand, they start purring. It feels like connection, like trust, like everything is working exactly the way it should. But then, something shifts. It's subtle. Their tail begins to move slightly faster. Their ears adjust. Their body becomes just a little more tense. This is the moment most people miss, because it doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't look like rejection. It looks small, almost unnoticeable. But to your cat, it's clear communication. They're saying, that's enough, and what happens next matters more than the entire interaction before it. If you stop, your cat learns that you understand them, that you respect their limits. But if you continue, even for a few seconds longer, they learn the opposite. And this doesn't destroy trust instantly. It changes it slowly, moment by moment. Until one day, they pull away sooner than before, and it feels like it came out of nowhere. But it didn't. It was built over time. Eye contact is natural for humans. We use it to connect, to show attention, to express emotion. But for animals, it's different. Direct eye contact can feel intense, sometimes even threatening. So when you look directly into your cat's eyes, holding that gaze, your intention might be positive. But your cat doesn't interpret intention. They interpret signals. And that signal can feel like pressure. That's why your cat blinks slowly or looks away, not because they don't like you, but because they're reducing tension. They're keeping the interaction calm. And when you understand that, you start seeing these small moments differently. Your environment feels normal to you. Music playing in the background, doors opening and closing, voices, movement, activity. It's just everyday life, but your cat experiences all of it differently. Their hearing is more sensitive. Their awareness is sharper. They notice small changes instantly, so what feels normal to you can feel overwhelming to them. A sudden noise, a raised voice, unexpected movement. All of it adds up. And stress doesn't always look obvious. Sometimes it just looks like distance. A cat choosing to sit farther away, a cat leaving the room, a cat avoiding interaction. And if you don't recognize these patterns, you miss what they're trying to show you. Consistency is one of the most important things for a cat. They rely on it to understand their environment, to predict what happens next, to feel safe. But humans are rarely consistent. One day you're calm, the next you're distracted. One moment you give attention, the next you're focused on something else. To you it feels normal. Life changes, but to your cat it feels unpredictable. And unpredictability creates distance. Because when something can't be predicted, it can't be fully trusted. So your cat adapts. They stay observant, they stay cautious, they engage, but carefully. Not because they don't like you, but because they're still trying to understand you. Your cat doesn't see you the way you see yourself. They don't think in words. They don't label you as good or bad. They observe behavior. They track patterns. They measure consistency. If your presence feels calm and predictable, they relax. They get closer. They engage more. But if your behavior feels inconsistent or overwhelming, they create space, not emotionally, but instinctively, because that's how they stay safe. Your cat isn't random. They aren't confusing. They aren't acting for no reason. They're responding to patterns, to behavior, to energy, every single day. And once you understand that, everything changes. So the next time your cat walks away, or ignores you, or reacts differently than you expected, don't ask, "What's wrong with my cat?" Ask yourself, "What am I showing them every single day?"